reasonable fear leading to reasonable self-defense.
A murder case dismissed in Butte County. Why the DA says he dropped charges against the woman arrested for killing her husband.
Plus, we have new details tonight about why Reading Police Chief Brian Barner is back on the job after the allegations made against him.
And
I said, he's my best friend.
we continue our coverage of the local legacy of Congressman Doug LaMalfa following his sudden death yesterday.
Covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now. Coverage you can count on.
We begin with new developments in the case of Julie Castaneda. She is the Butte County woman who shot and killed her husband early Christmas morning, and she was released from jail today following the dismissal of her case.
The decision came after Castaneda provided a statement to the Butte County Sheriff's Office and the district attorney on Monday. Butte County DA Mike Ramsey says Castaneda described what led up to the shooting, telling investigators that her husband, Carlos Castaneda, got on top of her and put his hands around her neck. She said that she was able to push him off, grab a handgun near her bed, and run out of the house. She told investigators that she returned after realizing there was another gun inside and that her 3 children were still sleeping in the home, leaving Julie in fear for her children.
Reasonable fear leading to reasonable self-defense. So under the law, that is a defense, and a complete defense, to a homicide. So, and discussions with the sheriff's investigators and my office, we decided that we could not overcome that defense of self-defense beyond a reasonable doubt, which is our burden. So this morning, we dismissed the case.
DA Ramsey says in cases like this, prosecutors always consider the possibility of self-defense and whether domestic violence played a role. He explained that at the time of her arrest, Castaneda invoked her right to remain silent, meaning investigators did not have her account of what happened until this week.
New details now. We're learning more about what Reading City Council members did and did not know about Police Chief Brian Barner being placed on administrative leave after he was reinstated to the job this week. Action News Now reporter Blake Mayfield spoke with Reading's vice mayor, who is sounding off about it.
After Police Chief Brian Barner was brought back to his position on Monday, Reading Vice Mayor Paul DeNuca spoke with me about how he found out about the news.
We were informed that the chief is on the leave, and that was city attorney and acting city manager who informed us.
Gotcha. So it was a Kerry Kibler call?
Yes, and city attorney.
DeNuca says he was told to not speak publicly on the specifics of why Barner was placed on leave in the first place.
What I can tell you is I have full faith in the chief that he can serve our community with all the integrity and professionalism.
I reached out to interim city manager Kerry Kibler about why Barner was placed on administrative leave last week. In a statement, she wrote, "No additional information will be provided at this time," which echoes what she told Action News Now last week.
I have found no state law that prohibits city council's oversight on such matter. Therefore, I'm going to pursue some actions to restore the public's trust, accountability to the government, accountability from the government, and transparency in this matter, because our community deserves better.
I reached out to Chief Barner for his side of how things have unfolded over the past week, but have not heard back. Reporting in Reading, I'm Blake Mayfield, Action News Now.
Now, incoming Reading City Manager William Tarbo is expected to be on the job starting February 16th. Well, here's a look from the Bureau of Reclamation Shasta Dam camera. This is from earlier today. The video was taken about 4:30 this evening.
What a gorgeous shot, and we'd
Always
like
love
to
that,
see those clearing skies. Chief Meteorologist Howie Birthday. Happy birthday, Freudian slip. It is Howie's birthday today, just so y'all know, and he stuck around and spent the day with us to make sure we know what's going on. And Howie, not a ton is going on though, right?
For the most part, you are correct, Haley. Let me try to clarify that a little bit. Now, as storms are glancing the area, moving in, we're seeing mountain snow, and really rain-wise, be very minuscule, less than tenth of an inch, and we do see showers in the valley. Just recently, I've seen some heavier rain activity, nothing in the way of thunderstorms yet, near Concal. So we've had some heavier bands. Most of the activity, once again, taking place in the higher elevations. So most of the activity, obviously the snow over 5,000 feet, will be in the mountains, other than our winds picking up a little today, and there'll be a little breezier tomorrow with the storms exit. But as you saw, that clear sunny skies on the horizon, yes, that will be our future. Visibility, not bad. We'll deal with cold nights and mornings, and that will bring in frost and fog. Here's a look at our winds. So a little breezier than what we've been. They'll pick up tomorrow, but after that, we're looking good. Here's a look at our temperatures right now. For the most part today, we were around average. We will see warmer temperatures, though, in the future. We'll talk all about that in a few minutes.
Thanks, Howie.
Well, we continue our coverage of District 1 Congressman Doug LaMalfa's unexpected death this week. Action News Now reporter Shadi Pullen spoke with Oroville City Council member Chuck Reynolds, one of the last people to see his close friend alive.
What started as a normal evening turned into Chuck Reynolds' worst nightmare. The Oroville City Council member said he met up with Congressman Doug LaMalfa on Monday for a Taco Bell dinner in Oroville. Little did he know that this was the beginning of the end.
It was just like when you hang out with a friend. You know, some things you talk about silly things, and then you talk about, life and family and our jobs. And
Reynolds says around 6:30 p.m. they left Taco Bell. He then says that the 911 call went out to LaMalfa's Richville home less than an hour later. Reynolds says at dinner Doug was in good spirits and talking about the future, even saying that he was going to get on a plane to Washington, D.C. soon. Reynolds says that no upsetting topics came up or any health concerns.
I had a friend text me at 6:40 in the morning and asked me if something happened to Doug. And I said, no, not that I know of. I just had dinner with him last night. Why? What's going on? And he said, are you sure?
Reynolds said that he then confirmed with LaMalfa's wife that his friend had passed. Reynolds said that he remembered how a great advocate LaMalfa was for Oroville, including his efforts on the Oroville Dam Agreement, road fixtures, the Veterans Memorial Park, and more. But mostly he says he remembers how a great friend LaMalfa was and support system. Reynolds tells me that one of the greatest lessons that he's learned from LaMalfa is to tell people that you love them before it's too late.
I would want to tell him that I love him. Because I didn't get to tell him. I know that he knew, but I didn't get to tell him.
Reporting in Oroville, I'm Shadi Pullen with Action News Now.
Reynolds said LaMalfa was part of the reason he got involved in politics in the first place and why he became mayor of Oroville in 2018.
New at 6, heads up Chico drivers. Starting tomorrow, all red light cameras will begin issuing citations for red light violations. Now, the last camera that was in the warning phase was the Notre Dame Boulevard at Skyway Light. Any driver captured failing to stop at the red light or turning right without coming to a complete stop, you'll get a citation for $465 in the mail. Since the program began in October, 1,882 warnings and, in some cases, citations have been issued.
You may have noticed people still standing in traffic medians around Chico, even though the City Council passed a new ordinance meant to stop that. The City Council says it was for safety reasons, although critics say it was primarily designed to stop panhandling by the homeless. Action News Now reporter Jerry Alenin looked into why enforcement hasn't begun yet.
Panhandlers can still be seen standing in traffic medians across Chico, even after the city approved a new ordinance aimed at stopping the practice.
The way we're going to enforce this is a progressive model. It's not going to be a heavy-handed model by any means.
Chico Police Chief Billy Aldridge said enforcement of the ordinance has not yet begun and will be introduced gradually once warning signs are installed throughout the city.
Just so that it's posted and people understand that they can't do it.
Aldridge said the department plans to begin with education rather than punishment. Officers will initially stop people found in medians to explain the ordinance and why it exists.
We had a slight technical difficulty with that story, but it is available now for you to watch in full on our website. And we do know that the police chief says that officers are waiting on new signs, which are expected to be installed at about 20 locations by the end of the month. Once those signs are up, enforcement of the new ordinance will actually begin. We'll keep you posted when that happens.
New developments now. The Reading Library is Getting closer to reopening, the city of Reading posted a video to its social media showing the team reshelving books as it prepares to open back up. The library has been closed as crews replaced the carpet, but it was expected to reopen in November. It was closed in August, but it didn't open in November. It's still closed, but Shasta Public Library says it will share the reopening date as soon as that date has been confirmed.
The days of getting pennies back in your change might be coming to an end after the government stopped minting them. And that shift is now actually starting at one shop in Chico. Action News Now reporter Emilio Del Carpio visited the grocery store doing that. We'll show you.
The government stopped producing pennies in November of last year, saying the cost to make them had become too high. Though the coins are still legal tender, some businesses are now rounding purchases to the nearest nickel. And that shift has made its way to Chico.
We started it January 1st. We ran through whatever pennies we had. We had a few left over, but we knew that was a good jump-off date.
To see how this so-called penny ban is affecting local banks, I stopped by Tri-County's bank here in Chico. I asked whether they're still giving out pennies and whether they're still accepting them. A banker told me the bank does still carry pennies, but under current policy, no more than $2 worth can be given out at a time, and only to business account holders. This policy was explained to me on the phone. I put in a situation that if I were owed $1.07 in change, I would receive $1.05. Is that correct?
Yes, we do. We round up, we round down if you pay with cash. And so if it is a 0 or a 1 or a 2, it rounds down to 0. If it's 3 cents, 4 cents, it rounds up to 5.
The Federal Reserve says it will continue to distribute pennies to banks until existing inventories are depleted. It will become more and more difficult to obtain rolls of pennies throughout 2026. In Chico, Emilio Del Carpio, Action News Now.
So the rounding up or down only applies to cash purchases. Electronic card payments are still charged to the exact cent. And those Coinstar machines are still accepting pennies too. It's funny, Alan, I used to get pennies back at the store and think, I don't even really want, I don't want to be a jerk, but like the 2 extra pennies. Now, I mean, they could be worth something.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, but in the meantime, if you have, I do have pennies. Do you have pennies at home?
Yeah.
I got a whole collection of them.
I'm going to start saving them.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, maybe that's the way to go.
We'll see.
All right, well, helping local veterans get the care they need, we show you an effort in the works in Glenn County.
Plus, remembering the legacy of the late Congressman Doug LaMalfa, we'll hear more stories and memories.